Alright, so I did make a quick video last night about the Jedi cloak that I am making for Baby Yoda. This was a prototype. I haven't put the hood up. I probably should do that so you can see. Alright, there's the hood up. And obviously you would want to do this in a drapier fabric. This is fleece, so it kind of keeps its shape. It's not hanging, gravity's not pulling it down the way it should. And obviously a Jedi cloak should not be made out of cartoony frog fleece. Probably use black or beige or brown or something like that. Anyway, I thought I would just show the prototype pattern that I was using to make this Jedi robe. And, well, before getting into this, well, no, I'll tell you this, then I'll tell you some other things about Jedi outfits. Okay, so this is basically you're going to sew two of these together, and you just sew the shoulder seams, and you're going to cut that out then you unfold it so you've got the two pieces like attached by the shoulder seams. That'll just be open. Then you set the sleeve, which is doubled over in the fabric. I mean, you can look up a video about how to make a basic shirt and set a sleeve. I'm not going to get into all that, but let's see. I've only just learned how to do this myself, so I don't really know. It always takes me a while to figure this out. Yeah, like this, but this fabric is doubled over to go in the hole, and you just would sew it around the hole. It's not easy. It takes some practice. And that's called a set sleeve, and I think it makes it look better. If you do, you can find Jedi Robe or Jedi cloak patterns online that tell you can just fold the fabric in half and then just have the sleeves as part of this piece, which I think I've made some like that. Yeah, for example, this one. So, and then for a Jedi robe, these would be much bigger sleeves, but then it's much simpler than when you set the sleeves. But to me, it gives it a better fit. It's not going to bunch up so much. You can see it does bunch up a little bit here, but if you use this just rectangle kind of pattern, you will get a lot of bunching, and especially in the back too. The back of this, by the way, is just like this, and not too much bunching. I do have to fix the hood so that it comes down further and hangs further in the back. I wasn't really that familiar with Jedi outfits. You know what they look like, but you don't think too much about it until you have to make one. Then you have to look at all the details. This is the hood, and I had not ever made a hood before. It's pretty easy. I mean, you can really just even use a rectangle if you want, but I shouldn't have added this to come in. That's probably why it comes in too much in the back. But like this is where the face is. You're going to have two of these. You're going to sew it together. You sew that, you leave this open. This is going to go around the neck, and this is around the face. This is the top, and this is the back. So more or less when you get this sewn together, then you're gonna sew it around to attach to the collar, and then it goes around. Anyway, this is not a sewing video. That was a terrible explanation. So let's see. Oh yes, so I learned about Jedi outfits is that, there are some variations on it, but pretty much you have a kind of t-shirt underneath, and let me take this off. Yeah, so if you look up a picture of Obi-Wan, like the Ewan McGregor version, you can kind of see some typical Jedi layers. And it looked like to me, it starts off with a sort of just t-shirt underneath. Because I know the bottom layer, what is going on here? The bottom layer comes up to the neck, kind of like a t-shirt. And all you're going to see of that is a little V. Then the next layer is kind of like a karate top or like a bathrobe almost, because it crosses over in the front like a robe would. And so then you have a bigger V opening here, and that's where you can see the t-shirt. So I think like the t-shirt would be brown. This karate type robe would be in a beige maybe, or an off-white. And then with Obi-Wan, he has got then a belt, and then I can't remember what this thing is called. There's some term for it. I don't know if it's a Star Wars term or a clothing term. I think it's just a Star Wars term. There's like these big straps that kind of come down and then under the belt and then down. And you've got those on each side, kind of like some kind of a seat belt on a roller coaster, you know. So yeah, it would come down like this and down, and this one down, and the same thing on the back, and it goes underneath the belt. And that will give kind of like a broad shoulder look. And then the Jedi hooded cloak on the outside of all that. Now, if I made all those layers for Baby Yoda, I think he would be such a little poof ball. I could do some variations of that. Like I could do the karate top kind of thing, just with a belt. That would look like a Jedi thing. Maybe it would look like a bathrobe. I don't know. We'll see. Probably depends on the fabric. And then I looked up Yoda as well. And Yoda has just like a brown kind of tunic and just a tiny collar at the top, and then it comes straight down, and that's, yeah, in brown, almost like a Nehru kind of collar. And then he just has like a very pale beige robe over that. So maybe I'll go for that combination. Not necessarily in those colors, but just a basic shirt and then the cloak for Baby Yoda. Because if you get too many layers on him, he gets very poofy. And I will not be making his final cloak in thick fleece, because that's just like a snowsuit. It's way too thick on him. All right, here is a prototype I had made of a sort of robe top, and it looks very karate to me, like a karate top, but that's because it's in pure white, which is the Taekwondo karate uniform color. And then if this were going to be a Jedi thing, you would hem this, so it would have kind of a line, more like a bathrobe look to it. Yeah, so there's that, and then you would need that underneath shirt to show through here, like a brown or something. And did I hem these? Yeah, I did hem those. And then one more thing I forgot to mention is that the hood, you need to cut a slit for Baby Yoda's ears, because, you know, Obi-Wan and Luke and them don't have giant ears like that, so they don't need this, but for Baby Yoda you do. And this fleece does stretch a little bit, so I mean, it's really easy to get his ears through before you pin it, which Jedi robes do just hang open, I guess. They don't really have a clasp, but I did use this, which I 3D printed, and I put just like a pin through it and I clasped it. If it's clasped around his neck, I can still manage to get his ears in and out of here. Barely, though. Barely stretches over his ears. But if it's open, then it's very easy to do. Anyway, I still have a lot of work to do on figuring out these outfits.